wherever they can, including China at this point of time. And in fact, we are getting some more break.
Motivated by any political victimization. This is an arrest which was not done at the behest of the government. It is an arrest that was made by the National Accountability Bureau, the institution that is supposed to look after corruption cases in the country. And it is an independent body. Unfortunately, the response that was given by followers of Mr. Imran Khan have, I think, created a great embarrassment for their own party and for him. The scenes that came on the media of loot and plunder are most deplorable. Because Mr. Khan had been championing all through his career that he stands for rule of law. He had been lecturing the people of Pakistan what is rule of law in Western democracy. And today, he and his followers are showing examples of worst fascist responses that one can ever find in history. This is the worst kind of demagoguery, the worst kind of fascism that is being demonstrated by a leader whose rise to fame was sports. As a sportsman, he ought to be championing sportsman spirit, tolerance, and respecting rule of law. But instead, he has chosen a path of spreading anarchy, chaos, and destruction in the country only to protect himself from accountability. Mr. Imran Khan, on a number of occasions, said that if ever there was a case against him, he will voluntarily present himself before the authorities for investigation. And as you know, that this case in which he has been arrested by NAB is a case of graft, a case of embezzlement, a case of corruption of 160 million pounds, which is 60 billion Pakistani rupees. 160 million pound, which was confiscated by UK crime agency on charges of money laundering from a Pakistani real estate tycoon. Mr. Imran Khan, under a fraudulent deal, under a deal of self-benefit, he, instead of depositing that 160 million pounds in National Exchequer, he allowed that amount to be deposited in the state bank account to settle the dues of the same person who was fined 160 million rupees. So in fact, 160 million pounds which were confiscated from this person for money laundering in UK, Imran Khan returned that confiscated money back to him so that he could settle his account with Supreme Court. Now this is worst kind of corruption, and he did this to gain personal benefits. Everyone knows that he created a trust with his and his spouse's name as owners and got benefit of huge chunk of land, and there were also audio recordings which talked of some jewelry, gifts of jewelry that Mr. Imran Khan and his wife got from the same person. Now this is not a small case. It is 60 billion rupees of Pakistani taxpayers' money which should have been deposited in the national account. Mr. Imran Khan, through a malified action, allowed that money to be paid back to the same person who was found guilty of money laundering for his own personal benefit. So now my question is, if such a case happens in Western country or any country, whether it is UK or USA, what would the law do? If there is a case where any prime minister or head of government is found to be indulging in such practice, won't anti-corruption agency or crime agency in that country investigate that case? Won't they proceed to arrest that person if he is not cooperating with the investigation agencies? You saw that before, whenever he was summoned to the court, he would appear in courts at his own leisure. As and when he deemed fit, he will appear before court, and that too only when court would give him a final warning. But before that, he even defied the orders of the courts, and not only did not appear before courts, but he even went to the extent of threatening a lady judge. When security agencies went to his home to serve that summon of appearance before court, there was attack on the security agencies. Petrol bombs were thrown. Dozens of policemen were injured, seriously injured. Stones were thrown. There were firearms. There were terrorists present, known terrorists there. So, and everyone saw those images, how PTI supporters protected his house and they were attacking the law enforcement agencies who had gone to just serve notice from the court. Similarly, what happened in judicial complex in Islamabad, this is before each one of you. Not only that he attacked the judicial complex, we have a history. Imran Khan had earlier attacked Pakistan television building, the place where we are sitting. In 2014, this place was ransacked. Not only he ransacked Pakistan television compound or offices, he also ransacked Parliament. He attacked the Parliament. Now, will United States forgive those who attacked Capitol or at the behest of President Trump? No. They are all facing charges. And I think it was a big mistake at that time by the government to not arrest him for attacking the Parliament, because Parliament is very sacrosanct. But in order to not create more hostility, we showed a lot of magnanimity. But Imran Khan misunderstood or took advantage of that gracious approach of the government to maintain political harmony in the country. And he has gone further, and he has not only attacked, yesterday his followers have attacked state properties, security institutions' properties, but he has even gone to the extent of attacking public transport and, worst of all, burning schools. Now, who has been burning schools in Pakistan? It has been the extremists, and now the credit goes to PTI, who have burned schools also in this country. Now, how can any society tolerate this kind of behavior, this kind of lawlessness, this kind of anarchy? So the law has to take its course, and those who have indulged in these kinds of activities will be taken to task. But I want to assure you that there is no political vendetta, there is no political victimization in any of the actions that have been taken by NAB. It is an independent authority. NAB has arrested Mr. Imran Khan under a lawful legal warrant, which has been cleared by the High Court and declared to be legal. Now, Imran Khan, who was arresting all the opposition leaders during his term as Prime Minister, I went through a punishment in a death sentence for more than 2 months and was later on cleared by the High Court that it was a baseless case. But we never resorted to such tactics. Mr. Nawaz Sharif was arrested, Mr. Shahbaz Sharif was arrested, all of our frontline leaders were arrested. But did PMLN ever resort to such kind of violence? No. Has People's Party or other parties resorted to such kind of violence? No. I mean, no other party has ever shown this kind of behavior that PTI supporters and Mr. Imran Khan has shown, which clearly shows that he is on a path of creating chaos in the society. He was ousted not through any conspiracy, but for the first time in the history of the country, a prime minister was removed through a constitutional process of no confidence. His own allies left him. There was no PTI dissident who voted in no confidence motion. It was just his own allies who left him after his failures, after his poor conduct, and they felt very unhappy with the government and they left him. As simple as that. And majority came on the opposition side. It was a constitutional vote of no confidence, and then he was ousted. Instead of accepting that decision in a sportsman manner, he said, it's either my way or highway. Either country will accept me as prime minister or I will not allow this country to be run. He went to the extent of trying to sabotage the IMF agreement. He went to the extent of sabotaging countries' relief efforts after the climate disaster that hit us. His party went to the extent of calling international agencies not to help the government in the wake of that climate disaster. So, unfortunately, the behavior that PTI has been demonstrating has been very unethical, undemocratic, and purely fascist. And we are reminded how in history demagogues have caused destruction to their societies. But Pakistan will not be allowed to become hostage to such politics of demagoguery or fascism. We are a democratic country. If Imran Khan feels that he has been unfairly arrested, he can prove his innocence before the court of law, just as we did. I proved my innocence before court of law. All the leaders from opposition, they contested their cases before courts. That is the democratic way. But this is no way that you start inciting people for violence, you cause destruction in the country, you cause loss to the economy, and you try to bring bad image to the country internationally. So I just wanted to clarify this, that Mr. Imran Khan does not face any political vendetta, he does not face any political victimization. He faces the accountability for his own misdeeds of corruption in which he indulged. And we are witness, because in cabinet secretary testified that this agreement which they presented to UK authorities to transfer the money instead of Government of Pakistan account to Supreme Court account to settle private persons' fine, this agreement was never shown to the cabinet meeting. Cabinet secretary said the meeting had concluded and Mr. Imran Khan just shared a sealed envelope that this is an important agreement and cabinet should approve it. And when some of the cabinet ministers questioned that at least we should be shown, they were snubbed. So this is how, in a very opaque manner, in a very non-transparent manner, he carried out this fraud, embezzlement, graft, and now he's not willing to be accountable, held accountable, something which he has been demanding for everyone in this country. But it seems that Mr. Khan believes in accountability of 220 million Pakistanis, but not for himself, not for his party. This is not democracy, this is not rule of law, this is fascism. Thank you.
Sir, is your government is considering following yesterday's arsenal tax, number one. Number two, is your government going to take any action against Mr. Malik Riaz, who is the main beneficiary of this case, and he is said to be close friend of PDM leadership?
First of all, the security agencies will present their report, and whatever they recommend, government will act accordingly. But let me say that we cannot have double standards in this country. that for some people you hold them accountable even if they burn a police post, and for others even they do much more daring acts and the state shuts its eyes. This will create implications. This will have implications for Pakistan. So there will be one law. Anyone who takes law into their hand, anyone who acts in a manner which is anti-state, the actions that PTI followers were committing yesterday were not against the government. They were against the people of Pakistan and they were against the state of Pakistan because they targeted important state institutions. They targeted important state infrastructure. They targeted schools. This is not acceptable at all. We have fought a great war against terrorists who used to burn our schools, who used to stop our girls from going to schools. And today, PTI is doing the same thing. It is burning schools to deny education to our children. We cannot allow this kind of behavior. And all those who are involved in the case will be investigated by the NAB. You can ask this question to NAB because they are dealing with this case, but I am sure that they will carry out justice and anyone who is related to this crime will be investigated.
So why the security of such important buildings was not ensured by that?
You see, this was done very spontaneously, and because these normally in 75 years, people have not crossed the red lines. Some of these institutions, for example, during Zia martial law, People's Party went through a lot of persecution, but you don't find that People's Party workers crossed that red line anywhere. During Musharraf martial law, PMLN went through worst persecution, but no one ever crossed that red line because end of the day, these are our state institutions. If we weaken them, we also strengthen non-state actors who are trying to destabilize Pakistan. So Pakistan needs to preserve its security institutions, respect them. So therefore, it was not really expected that anything like this would happen. And I think PTI yesterday crossed many red lines.
Sir, how many people have been arrested yesterday riots? Do you have a number?
The provincial, these incidents have taken place in provinces. So provincial government and provincial law and order agencies are taking stock of the situation and also apprehending the culprits. They're trying to recognize them through video images and trying to gather their record. But let me assure you that we cannot allow such precedents to be repeated.
And can you please also add in this that how many people were killed or injured during the violence?
Ministry of Interior will, I think, give a statement about that.
Any idea about the number of people arrested yesterday?
I don't have exact figures because it is in the domain of provincial governments. So we can get numbers from them and share with you.
Can you tell us about the security plan for the next coming days?
Yeah, government is taking all the necessary security precautions. And as you know that these violence incidents were not outpour of any public demonstration. These were targeted demonstrations planned by Mr. Imran Khan himself, by his own party workers. So these demonstrations or violent actions by no means show that there was any public support for their cause or their call. These were rank and file of PTI workers who had been given these tasks. Most of their Punjab Assembly ticket holders were told to bring people. So this was an organized attack on government buildings, on state infrastructure by PTI, and well rehearsed and well planned under the supervision of Mr. Imran Khan, who was fearing that there may be his arrest may be coming in coming days. So to protect himself from such arrest, he had carried out detailed meetings and plans for his own workers to put up such kind of actions to create fear amongst government departments not to touch him. No person in Pakistan is untouchable. every person in Pakistan is accountable before law. So Imran Khan may be a big superstar or maybe a big celebrity. If he says that he's above constitution, he's above law, he's above accountability, he's mistaken. And my request to his followers is that if you truly believe in the cause of rule of law, if you truly believe in the cause of accountability, then set an example and have the confidence. If you believe that this case is based on mala fide, if this case is not true, then he will be set free by the courts.
And cutting across to our guests who continue to stay live with us, Major General G.D. Bakshi, I want to come to you on what the Pakistan government is saying, because they're harping on the very charges that they're levelling against him, saying that it is out and out corruption, and this is double standard by Imran Khan, where he can't be above the law, he has to face the law. If he is proven innocent, then it's a separate matter. But this kind of fascism will not be tolerated by the Pakistan government, and corruption to the tune of 160 million that they are